Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be diving into a profoundly important topic today: 8 daily habits that actually help heal trauma responses. And to help guide us through the journey, say hello to our friendly little stickman character. Yep, the guy right there in the blue hat and those bright red shoes. He's going to be walking alongside us to show exactly how we can apply these concepts to our actual everyday lives. So, let's jump right in.
Right off the bat, I really just want to acknowledge how incredibly tough this process can be. You know, healing from trauma, it can honestly feel like trying to rebuild a house that was once burned down, all while you are still living inside it. Think about it. On the outside, it might look completely fine. The structural walls are still standing, the roof is there, but inside, there are all these hidden cracks and charred floorboards that absolutely no one else can see. And if that hits home for you, I just want to validate your experience right now. It takes a massive amount of strength to keep living in that house while you're actively trying to repair it.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that trauma isn't just some abstract memory floating around in your head. It's actually literally wired into your physical body. When we talk about a trauma response, we're talking about a physical reaction from your nervous system. Your past trauma actually lives in your breathing patterns. It dictates the quality of your sleep, and it can completely hijack your everyday stress reactions. It is hardwired right into your biology.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First up, we'll look at trauma in the body. Second, calming physical trauma responses. Third, creating safety through routine. Fourth, processing your internal emotions. And finally, healing through safe connections. We're going to be looking at small, completely doable, science-backed habits that will slowly help rewire that nervous system of yours.
Section 1. Trauma in the body. Small steps, big healing.
So the absolute key takeaway here is that healing usually isn't about one massive cinematic breakthrough. Like therapy and medication, they are fantastic tools for sure. But if you don't have access to them right now, or maybe you're just not ready yet, that is completely okay. By focusing on really small everyday habits, you slowly start teaching your nervous system that safety is actually possible again. You're rebuilding that burned down house from the inside out, literally brick by brick, day by day.
Moving on to Section 2, calming physical trauma responses. Grounding, breathing, and movement.
And this brings us to our first habit: grounding rituals for when you start to dissociate. You know that feeling when you dissociate? It's like your physical body is there in the room, but your mind has drifted miles and miles away. You completely zone out. Well, to pull your mind out of the past and firmly anchor it back into the present, you can try the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. You just name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. I know it sounds incredibly simple, almost too simple, but gently engaging your physical senses like that, it pulls you right back to the here and now.
And the science behind why grounding works so well is just brilliant. When you consciously engage your senses, like really feeling your feet pressing into the floor or taking a deep breath, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That is your body's rest and digest mode. Doing this directly calms down your amygdala, which is basically your brain's fear center, and it restores balance right down through your vagus nerve. You are literally hitting the off switch on your body's alarm system.
Which naturally leads us to habit 2, breathing with intention to counter hyperarousal. Look, if you constantly feel on edge, you might be stuck in fight or flight mode, and you don't need a fancy hour-long meditation setup to break out of this. Just pause. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold it for 2, and then exhale for 6. Notice how our stickman friend is doing it. Taking that long, slow exhale acts as a direct physical signal to your vagus nerve that, hey, you're safe, and it's finally okay to just relax.
Habit 3 is all about gentle movement for stored tension. Because trauma literally stores tension right in your physical body. We're talking tight shoulders, an aching jaw, maybe a restless stomach. This is what we call a stuck stress response. To help complete that stress cycle and let that tension go, try mindful shaking, some light stretching, a bit of yoga, tai chi, or honestly, simply going for a walk. You're giving your body a way to physically process what your mind has been desperately holding on to.
Section 3. Creating safety through routine. The power of predictability.
All right, habit 4, setting up safe routines for your anxiety. Listen, unpredictability is absolutely terrifying after you've experienced trauma, because survivors often live entirely on edge, just waiting for the next bad thing to drop. Creating predictable rituals is incredibly healing. Things like brewing your morning tea, sticking to a very specific daily skincare routine, or journaling right before bed. These give your nervous system something sturdy to hold on to. And research actually shows that this active predictability lowers anxiety by regulating your body's cortisol cycles.
building on that idea of routines, we have our next habit, creating safety cues for rest and sleep. Nighttime can be the absolute hardest, right? Your body might be bracing for danger before you even try to wind down. So create small, highly consistent signals before bed. Dim the lights down low, put on some calming music, maybe mist your pillow with a familiar, comforting scent. Over time, doing this builds what psychologists call associative safety. Your brain starts linking those exact sensory cues with rest rather than bracing for a threat.
Section 4. Processing your internal emotions, replacing shame with kindness.
Next up is self-compassion. After trauma, our inner dialogue can turn exceptionally harsh. We say things to ourselves we'd never say to a friend. We think, why can't I just get over this? I should be stronger by now. But here is the profound truth. Shame does not heal trauma, it cements it. By consciously shifting that mental dialogue towards self-compassion, by telling yourself, okay, this is hard, but my pain is proof of my growth, you actively begin to rewire those deeply entrenched neural pathways in your brain.
And look, there is hard science backing this up. Dr. Kristen Neff's research shows that practicing self-kindness actually physically changes our brain chemistry. It's wild. It activates the brain's care system, which boosts oxytocin and lowers the stress hormone cortisol. I know it might feel kind of fake or uncomfortable at first, almost cheesy, but think of it like a muscle. It grows stronger with practice.
Sometimes, though, words just aren't enough, which leads us to creative expression. Not all feelings can be perfectly articulated in a journal entry. Engaging in painting, sculpting, writing, playing music, or even dance provides a really gentle, necessary way to externalize unspoken pain. And the best part? It doesn't have to look good. It doesn't even have to make sense. It's simply about giving a physical shape to your feelings so you can release them.
And finally, Section 5, Healing Through Safe Connections. You are not alone.
This brings us to safe connection. When you've been deeply hurt, isolation feels so much safer. You might just want to pull away from everyone entirely. But isolation can actually make the pain worse in the long run. Because humans, we are biologically wired to heal together through a process called co-regulation. This is the actual biological process where our nervous systems literally calm down by being in safe, authentic relationships with other people.
Community is absolutely vital here. Major studies from Harvard and the National Institute of Mental Health confirm that having social support is literally one of the strongest predictors of trauma recovery. Every single positive interaction you have releases oxytocin. That's the bonding hormone that naturally lowers fear. So whether it's a trusted friend, a therapist, or even a really supportive online community, connection reminds your nervous system that you are not in this alone.
The amazing thing is, your brain and your body are incredibly adaptable. With small, intentional, everyday habits, you truly can teach yourself that safety is possible again. So I want to leave you with this final reflective thought. Who or what reminds you that you are safe now? Take a moment, really think about it, and please share your thoughts down in the comments, because honestly, your story might be the exact thing that helps someone else feel a little